Welcome.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas.
Willkommen.
Ahla wa sahla to breakfast together.
Hello. Welcome to another episode. You know the series. This is the second time I'm recording with my friend Greek gang Tilemachos.
Hello, everybody. Kalispera. No, Kalimera.
Kalispera.
Sorry.
Kalimera in this case, yes. So it's the second time, as I mentioned. We have another guest, and maybe you can give some information. You can guess who is this guest. It's a born and raised in Madrid, Spanish speaker and polyglot. I'm sure you have seen her somewhere around. I think you attended all the Polyglot gatherings and conferences. And she speaks a bunch of languages. She can also speak some Greek, and I think she also can sing a lot in Greek. And I think that's how the first time we heard and met each other in the Polyglot conference. We know her actually from the Polyglot conference in Budapest in 2023, if I'm not wrong. And welcome, Natalia.
Hello, buenos días, kalimera.
Kalimera. Καλώς ήρθες.
Καλημέρα, καλώς ήρθες.
Τι κάνεις?
Εξαιρετικά.
Okay, I see.
Shall we do it in
Yes.
English or in Greek? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
It's like polyglot problems, you know. You have so many languages to choose from. But let's do our listeners a favor and do it in English for now. And
Okay,
the next one in
let's
Greek.
start for now.
The next
Next one in Greek,
Sure.
yes. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here. It's an honor. I've been a listener of your podcast since the very first episode. So
Nice.
I remember once I told you, if you ever make some interviews,
Yes.
I need to be there. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Okay.
Yes, I remember that. That's why we decided also. I mean, you are like friend with everybody in the team. We know each other like for so long, and we wanted to invite you. You are an interesting person. You are like a polyglot as well, like us. So we want to ask you a bunch of things, and I mean, make like a conversation in the end, like discuss about your perspective into languages and your life in general. So yeah.
Super
So I would
happy
like-
to be here.
Yeah. Likewise. So I would like to start with something maybe that the audience would never guess about you, something that like I think everybody would know that you're an influencer marketing manager, if that's correct. So something that nobody knows about you.
Something that nobody knows about me. Well,
Like a-
probably
like a language
not my
that you-
nationality. Probably that's something
That's
that
pretty clear.
yeah, it goes. Maybe that I'm a mom because I'm quite down. I consider maybe at least the average for Spain. It is so probably you see me there giving presentations at the events or just talking to the people, doing some networking or randomly being there.
Yep.
It might be that like a
Oh,
fact.
wow. Yep.
But
So a
yeah.
polyglot mom.
yeah,
Very interesting.
can be that.
Nice. We can talk about that later. And I think as a question that we do to everybody, it's like which languages you speak. I mean, we are in this podcast, which we'll normally talk about. Mostly we talk about languages. So we know that you already speak, I mean, German, and that's the language that we use. English, that we're using right now.
Did you say German at the beginning?
German? No, sorry, Spanish. So yeah,
Ah,
German
okay.
is the
We-
language.
We can say that we normally speak in German. We can say
Yes,
that.
yes.
But
So we can flex,
from
we
time
can
to
flex.
time, we switch to English.
Another polyglot
So you
problem.
flex, yeah. So what else? We said German that we speak. It's no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Spanish, English, and German. What else?
I didn't see this question coming, but I'm gonna answer it. No problem at all. So
Oh, we caught you by surprise.
Well, of course, Spanish from Spain, as it is my mother tongue. Then English, obviously, German, mentioned already, French, some Italian. I do understand much more than compared to what I can actually talk, but I could say I speak it. And then I know some basic sentences, phrases in other languages like Greek, Croatian,
Yeah.
some words in Turkish, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, but I
Okay.
can be nice and polite in many different languages.
In every
Like
language.
say thank you, that kind of thing.
That's a very like good priority to have. To the first thing you do in a new language, be polite. But
Yes.
I'm curious because another like unique thing about you, I think, is that a lot of the polyglots they have also a very international life in the sense that they were born in one place, maybe they lived a few years in another place and then another one, but you actually live in the place that you were born. And I wanted to ask, first of all, if you had lived at some point abroad somewhere, and also like how does a girl from Madrid who lives in Madrid decide to become a polyglot? Like, what was your, how did
That's a
you
really good
decide to
question.
speak
Yeah.
a bunch of languages surrounded by people who speak Spanish?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have wished so many times, like, oh, I wish my mom was from, like German. I wouldn't have to have learned German, and my dad from France,
Yeah.
and then I would have learned English at school. Like,
Yeah.
I've listened to so many anecdotes like that. That would have been amazing. I would have saved so much time I could spend in learning other languages too. But actually, yeah. So my background is quite monolingual. Sometimes I say like, well, actually,
Welcome to the
my mom
team.
and dad spoke they have some other accents. My mom from Cordoba, Andalusia, my dad
Uy.
from Cadiz, Andalusia too. So I did listen to some accents, but from Andalusia, Spain
Yeah.
as well. But
Which
I
means that you
think
can speak all the or understand all the Spanish from even Latin America, right?
Yes, I know the
Yeah.
difference between ceseo and ceceo. People that speaks with the s and with the
Yeah, yeah.
sound too. But I think, well, actually, I think it's thanks to my parents that they made me enroll in a English like school, like like in the afternoon, like extra hours.
Hmm.
I started becoming very good at it. It was actually my favorite subject at the school.
Oh.
Also, it was like language, like Spanish language. So they were
Yeah.
I was very good at it. But I had that support. I think that extra little push helped me a lot. And then, so yeah, when I was finishing high school, well, in Spain, we normally have French as
Right.
second foreign language.
Hmm.
But I think it would be surprising to me if you ever find a person from Spain that tells you they had a good experience with French, or that they really learned a lot, because normally it's not enough the hours that we have and we barely speak. So it's very hard to actually get to get to speak and have a decent level, and people end up hating it because
Yeah.
they
Hmm.
find it difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started, yeah, with French, good English, and then in university, I don't know why. I think it was because I studied journalism.
Hmm.
I studied a
Oh.
lot in high school, so I wanted something easy for for university. I was like, I was fed up, totally fed up with studying,
Some
Yeah.
vacation.
and yes, I was like, now I'm gonna do so many other things in my spare time after university, and I enrolled in German in the language school, and I started with A1. I took some French lessons too to review what I had learned before. So some basic French, some basic German, but what kick off with languages was moving abroad for my Erasmus, for my year abroad as
Yeah.
Mm.
exchange student, and I went to Germany.
Oh, what in
Oh,
Germany?
okay.
So
I see now
yeah,
the
that
connection with Germany.
I went there with my A1. I was like, well, I'm going to eat the world, like me voy a
Yeah.
comer el mundo, like I have an A1 in German. And but actually what I spoke most at the beginning was English.
Hmm.
Of course, the German I knew it wasn't enough. And that was the first time when it hit me that also the English that I had wasn't enough. Like
Hmm.
even to
Yeah.
talk to other international students there, I struggled a bit at the beginning. With other international students, maybe it was fine, but with native speakers was so hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was actually, I remembered at the beginning, I shared a flat with two Indians and one Australian when I first
Oof.
moved to Germany. And the Indians had to translate the English from the Australian guy to me because I couldn't get what he was saying. I
Oh.
couldn't understand a native speaker. it's true that he didn't make it easy for me. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
like trying to adapt the rhythm or the speed,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but those Indians were my savers.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I had the same experience with Spanish and Andalusian Spanish.
Ooh.
I can understand you. By the way, which city of Germany did you go to for Erasmus?
I lived in Mannheim, near
Ah,
Oh,
Frankfurt,
Mannheim,
okay.
and near
Nordrhein-Westfalen.
Heidelberg.
I have noticed two things actually. I think we share a lot of, and it's a lot of people, Spaniards or Greek people, will know. We share a lot with the people of the south. I call them, especially with the Spanish people. Two things you mentioned. One is I think we have the same thing with English after school. Normally, a person in Greece starts like around 10, when there's like 10 or 9,
Hmm.
going to schools. We do 6 years of English, but they break down the levels probably to A1, A2, A1.1, A1.2, blah blah. So it's like a lot of years, and people need to pay. It's not like something that we do in schools. Plus,
Hmm.
that the class that we do for German or French, which people again they don't learn anything. They do it in school. They do maybe 1-2 hours, and at
Yeah,
the end you hate the class,
you forget
and you don't
everything. You
really
don't pay
exactly.
attention, and
Yeah.
also without natives to speak to, it's
Yeah.
very hard to actually maintain it and motivate yourself.
Yeah. The other thing, you mentioned something. You say eat the word. I didn't know that this exists also in Spanish. We say also the same, thafasto dopo, in Greek, which
Really?
means the same thing. You're going to go outside and you're going to achieve everything. Really interesting. I didn't know that. It's first time that I... Tha-
Zafasto dopo?
Thafasto dopo, yes.
Agrivosto.
Ah.
Comer el
Yes.
mundo. Tu vas a
Yeah, at the
comer el
beginning I wasn't
mundo.
sure if it was an expression in English. So yes,
Yes, I don't think
or
that they use it, but we as Greeks, we understand
We get
that.
it.
So, sorry about the long. I just wanted to mention that journaling. So, have you worked on journaling, or what happened after your
I,
Erasmus?
I did actually. I started quite early working. I was still studying. I did so many simultaneous things while studying journalism, like musical theater. Maybe that's something also people wouldn't have guessed
Oh,
at the
okay, yeah,
events.
I
yes, I
wouldn't.
think
But
so.
yeah, I did theater. I did musical theater too, and then it was actually in the theater that I met a guy older than me who had some contacts, and in journalism it's all about contacts.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I know somebody that needs a trainee, like an intern.
Mhm.
So I started when I was, I think I wasn't even 20, I was 19. So I was in my second year of the degree, and I was one of the first person actually working as a journalist in a news agency, one of the biggest or the biggest in Spain.
Uh-huh.
I was working in the section of technology,
Mm.
and I'm not a techie girl, but I
Yeah.
do like social media, as you can
Yeah.
imagine
Mhm.
from my current job. That was the part I liked the most, like writing about, oh, Twitter has launched this update. So
Yeah.
there were things like this that I liked, but it was for 1 year, more than a year, and I was quite happy with that. But then I moved to Germany, and when I came back, I was all about languages and travel.
Mm.
So I changed,
Yeah.
and also the way I wanted to, the direction change of what I wanted to do in the workplace or in my working life, let's say, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, it was like an eye-opening experience. I got to know myself better. It was there where I also, well, I got to practice my French in Germany somehow,
Yeah.
and also I learned German in a very curious way. It wasn't in the school, I have to say. I learned it in a restaurant as a waitress, in
Oh,
a Mexican restaurant in Germany,
Mexican
run
restaurant in Germany. Okay.
wow.
run and the people who were running the restaurant were from India and Sri Lanka, of course.
Okay.
I think the most polyglot way to learn a language.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, the
And
polyglot spirit started to started there.
you sure that the food was like Mexican?
It was
Yes.
spicy.
It
Yeah.
had curry in it.
Yeah.
The chef was Mexican, but the
Yeah.
other people around
The only
were
Mexican
Okay.
thing was the name and the chef, apparently.
yes, the name was Azteca. Azteca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I was working there, if I don't recall, well, the thing is that they wanted Spanish people and Latinos to
Yeah.
work in the restaurant despite
To
not
look like,
having,
yes.
yes, despite not having a clue of German. So I was like, I'm here, I'm your girl. And they wanted us to greet the German customers like, hola, buenas tardes, mesa para dos, like, and then of course switching to German.
Yeah.
But at least, they had like this, imagine a German going to a restaurant, they greet you in Spanish like, oh, Latino, despacito. They love it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Despacito. Yeah.
it was marketing, very good
Yeah.
marketing actually.
Uh-huh. I see.
And I was working it was called in German, I think, Springer, I think. I don't know if you guys know this word.
What was the name
It's okay.
again?
It should mean something like a person that is like helping. Springer, I don't remember very well.
Springer. I don't know
I'm not
this.
sure.
Maybe, well, if anybody from Germany listen to this, please leave a comment
Yes.
Well, we live in
and tell
Germany,
us the
but
right word.
we don't know the word, apparently.
Well, anyway, I told to a friend, this is not Springer, this is Pringada. Pringada is a word in Spanish, very,
Yeah.
very, very C2 level, which means like fool, because we were a bit like, the work that people didn't want to do, like bringing drinks to the table, food to the table, like very simple. We wouldn't communicate much with the customers, with the clients, because there were like the Germans or people with high level of German taking the orders.
Yeah.
But the first sentence I learned in German, and I learned it automatically because I would panic when a German client talked to me, was, "Einen Moment bitte, meine Kollegin kommt sofort." I would,
Very useful
that
phrase.
word,
Yeah.
I think I would have repeated that 1,000 of times. Like my very first month was just that. And then repetition, I would panic. But then little by little, because the clients don't know how much German you know, and they don't know if you were the Springer, like the helper, or if you are the manager. They don't know, so they would ask you questions like, "What's inside this burrito? Which daiquiri do you recommend? Which tacos are the best ones?" So of course, there was a point like, okay, instead of calling meine Kollegin, let's try to face it. And I started making sentences. And when I came home, I would write it in a notebook, very little notebook, like all these words. And I would repeat them the following day, and so on. So that's how the language got stuck. I did some classes and so on, but I would say that necessity and real life what was made me make progress.
Right. And for how long that was happening? Like how many months or?
It was like a year. So I basically was there. I was going there for just a few months, like the first semester. But well, it's like I lost my purse like the second month in Berlin. Actually, in a trip to Berlin, I felt so bad. I didn't want to ask money to my parents, and I started working simultaneously to journalism too.
Yeah.
One more thing, it was still journalism, but in Germany.
Right.
So I was like, I found this student job, and I was like, let's take it. And in the second semester, I just worked. I didn't have to study. I extended, but for working, I did like internship in a bed and breakfast there. I continued in the Mexican place, and then I changed it because I found a Greek place in Mannheim.
Okay.
It was like more for drinks and shisha.
Yeah.
And they were paying me more, so I changed from the Mexican to the Greek one. It was kind of, the owners were Greek, but the vibe was like Balkanic, like more like Bulgarian. That was more the kind of poet.
Also a bit international in a sense.
Very a little polyglot gathering there.
And that's how the passion, or like, I don't know if you have passion about Greek, but that's how you start like learning some Greek phrases or some Greek words.
It was, well, actually, it was a bit before that, but I met some. I think they were probably the first Greeks I've ever met. It was there in the Erasmus.
in Germany.
We in Germany. They were also for Erasmus there, and yeah, we made friends with them, and they were part of our group. We were like two Greeks, Spanish, a Turkish, and I, maybe some more people from time to time. So they were very good friends, and they taught us a lot of words. It started there,
Mostly bad works.
probably.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how it
yeah,
works.
yeah. Ne malakane.
We will put a bib on that.
We're gonna
Oops,
beat on
Oops.
that. Yes.
oops. I was like, I should know. Yeah, yeah.
It's funny, like,
But yeah, I would say that yeah, it was like in crescendo, like for instance in the Greek place, nobody spoke English, and in the Mexican place there were not Latinos and Spanish, so I had like I was in the comfort zone, English, Spanish,
mhm,
easy peasy, still learning. But in the Greek place, it was either Greek or German. Nobody spoke English,
good luck.
and they were tough. There was a Greek girl. Wow. I mean, I love Greek culture. I have many friends from Greece, but this girl, oh man, she was tough. Like, sauber machen, Natalia, sauber machen. Like, the thing is, she was tough. And if I had to face her, I couldn't, I had to speak in German. There was no other
Yeah,
alternative.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Greek service culture is known that it's like very tough, and it's. I mean, the level is high, but also like the supervisors and the bosses are known
Yeah.
for being very very tough and
Yeah.
not the best bosses very often. I have to say. Like, interesting. So basically, your polyglot journey started in Mannheim, you could say.
Totally. It started there. I still maintain the friendship with my Turkish friend. She is one of my best friends, and other people I am still in touch with. But I would say when I came back to Spain, something had changed already in me. I couldn't be like doing the same things, and I started looking to new opportunities to do the same. And I joined a student organization that you guys have in Greece for sure. Well, I know there is. It's called ESN,
Ah,
Erasmus
yeah.
Yeah.
Student Network.
Hmm.
It's actually all across the EU, and it's the largest student organization. So I joined it as a body, let's say like to make people come into my university, like exchange people, international students, to help them with their exchange in Madrid, in my university.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was still like another Erasmus. It was in my city, but I was going to all the parties, going to trips, making friends from all around the world, mostly like Europe, Latin America too. So I continued with that for a couple of more years. And then I would say that my peak with English came. It was when I went to Croatia, and that's the end of my international story actually, because later I came to Madrid. So, but then, fun enough, I got my best English
Yeah.
moment, I think, in Croatia,
Mm.
Uh-huh.
because I went to Sadar, beautiful city.
Hmm.
I went there before it became super the country, like
Before it
more
was cool.
touristy.
Yeah.
There were kuna. I mean, there was kuna, the currency, like it was still kind of
Uh-huh.
affordable, cheap, I would say. And I went there to volunteer in a hostel. The hostel was called Drunken Monkey.
Okay.
Very
I won't
fitting
tell.
for a hostel.
It it goes without saying what the hostel was about. I had to help there a little bit with like some very simple task,
Yeah.
but it was a very English environment.
Hmm.
Like the managers, the owners of the hostel were from Canada and the UK, and then my I had like a colleague, like coworker, doing the same volunteering thing as me. She was from Canada too, and then receptionists were from Croatia, so English, English, English.
Hmm.
And again, dealing with natives, again, I thought I had a very good English because I had
Yeah.
Greek friends I had talked with in English. I had a Turkish best friend I had spoken with
Yeah.
in English.
The best English speakers, Greeks and Turkish.
Spoiler, I couldn't get along with them. Maybe it was also the people. I mean, maybe I wasn't lucky. It wasn't the language or the culture, but it didn't click. Like I didn't. They were like, Natalia, why are you hanging out with the guest all the time? And I was like, I don't understand your jokes, guys. I'm sorry. And you don't have my humor either.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
That could also be with culture. Yes, I can get that. Nice. Okay.
it could be. But at the very beginning, going back to the language, why my English was so good there, like, of course, like, no. Well, when I got there, also, I realized that my English was not so good, or my pronunciation, because they started calling me Gloria from the TV show Modern Family. Sofia
Oh,
Vergara's
yeah,
character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yes.
compliment and an insult at the same time in some way.
I mean, it was funny. It was funny. I took it in a fun way because my first day it was kind of the onboarding. They were showing me the hostel. It was the Croatian woman running the hostel, but her English was super good,
Yeah.
and she was showing me around. Like I had to do like some bartending thing, and I had to make smoothies. So there was this machine at the moment, a blender. I didn't know the name in English. And I was like, okay, so I have to use this machine for do, 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 do.
I see the similarity now.
And the woman started laughing. Wow, you are like Gloria. So at the beginning it was all fun and nice. I was the Gloria new girl, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then anyway, it was actually one of the best summers of my life anyways. And also I was isolated from Spanish in a way I've never been, because my phone got broken. um, I was only using the laptop to chat with my parents from time to time, and so no conversation in Spanish.
Mhm.
And there it was like very, like, that part of Croatia and the hostel vibe was like very hippie. So I was like, I had no phone and I was happy, like, oh, I don't need phone. I There's an expression that they taught me, that is pomalo. It's an
Malo.
expression or a word in Croatian that is like, don't worry, like, chill, things
Mm.
will happen when they have to happen.
Pomalo.
Sounds like halala,
Pomalo.
like
Pomalo.
Like,
the concept.
yeah.
So I was with that vibe, and at some point, I started dreaming in English because I would really. It
Yeah.
has only
You're using
happened.
it every
It
day.
can
And yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And actually, like, some colleagues from my mom came to the town. They were on a tour or something. She told me, like, do you want to show them around? They will be there. And I had to speak Spanish in a very long time, and I felt like my Spanish was rusty. My jokes weren't as good as they used to be, or my expressions
Uh-huh.
were a bit from a workbook. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god,
I think Dimi really feels you
Yeah.
because his Greek is
really?
getting
Oh
rusty.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
My Greek
like
are
throwing
getting
Spanish words while speaking Greek all the time. I have
all the
to
time.
correct his Greek. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Okay, cool. So I mean, that's an interesting experience, and I think that's how you learn, right? Like
Hmm.
when you are exposed. Exposure is the best thing. You don't have to, as you said, like you don't have internet, you don't have anything to
Yeah.
use, so you just focus on. I have to communicate, right? So find the way to communicate. Either how you said, like with one phrase, then the second phrase, then the third will come, and then eventually you will be able to learn.
It's just
Yeah.
immersion in the end. It's
Yeah,
like you're
But
immersed and
I
you have
think
to swim. You have to swim.
yeah, exactly.
I speak so much. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, you're the guest, so you're
You're the
the.
guest. You're the
Do you feel the
guest.
Okay, okay,
spotlight shining on you?
okay. No, I was going to say that I agree with you, like, immersion, necessity, but I think also interest. I know how
Hmm.
many people do we know,
Yeah,
guys, you probably can relate
yeah,
to this, that go to a country for studying or work, and they don't make any effort. They are
They
only with
stick to their,
people.
yeah,
They
they
yeah
stick in their
they
same
stick with,
circles, yeah, their inner circles, and
in
they
their
keep,
bubble.
yeah, in their bubble. Yeah, I
like
mean
I
that's a
just
convenience, I think, in the end.
but you need to have some sort of interest. I As we speak, I just recalled that I found a book in the hostel of Croatia that I told you. It was it was like Teach Yourself Croatian, something like that, the book. So it was all in English, explaining Croatian. And since I didn't have Instagram at night to
Yeah.
scroll, I would read the book, and
Wow.
there were like very simple dialogues, like ugradu, that means like going to the city.
Hmm.
And I was reading that, like, it was fun. Oh, I know this word. I have seen it in a sign.
Hmm.
And also, I had a very good friend in the reception from Croatia, and I was asking her words, like, tell me a funny word. Like every day, one new funny word.
Hmm.
I ended up knowing many.
Hmm.
So I think like there's a part of interest that is also essential, that the language is not going to come just passively to you like, oh, I'm here, immersion, I'm bilingual suddenly. I think there's this part also of interest.
We have a nice phrase for that in Greek, "Sin Athina ke chiraki," which is basically
That's next level language. Yeah,
it
it's not
basically
an easy
means
one.
like ask for the help of Athena, like ask for the help of the goddess, but also
Right.
move your hands. So it's like also up to you. So don't just pray; you also have to do something about it. But I also have a question. Like, so did you learn how to say blender in Croatian in the end?
I
No, no,
didn't need
that
to.
was in English. That was in English. Yes.
Oh,
No, but it
I
was in
didn't.
Croatian,
I
right?
didn't. I know now, but I didn't at that moment. I think I didn't have to use it. People just was.
Shame.
People were just ordering a smoothie. I didn't need to ask like, do you want me to do it manually or with the blender? It went
So
without saying.
Perfect.
you mentioned that in Croatia you didn't have in the night like Instagram to scroll, and what I understand, and we know it's like that you love scrolling on Instagram. Why is that? Can you explain us? Like, I mean, your job is like that, right?
Yes. Yes, I have a good reason for that. It was because when I got to Croatia, I came from a very stressful moment, because when I was in this student organization, I was social media manager, because I started there like, just helping the students, so and so on. But it's this kind of organizations that if you want, you can take responsibility and do
Uh-huh.
stuff. And actually I
And
learned
learn.
a lot,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I could travel with the network. It was so much fun. I learned a lot, but I also worked a lot. It was volunteer thing, but I ended up engaging there way too much. Like I was failing journalism because of that.
Dedication.
So, to all the respect to the degree, you really have to. I wasn't in the lessons at the university. I was doing stuff for the. I was uploading posts to the social media and so on. So I ended up very stressful. Like I took a lot. It made me fail one signature. So when I got to Croatia, it made me change. Also, as I said, like the vibe, the pomalo thing there. People were walking barefoot. So it was a completely different environment, and it took me a while, maybe a couple of weeks, to actually understand what that was about. Like Madrid girl going there to the beach, to the seaside in a hostel. Like people were the receptionists were just smoking, and in between they were working. That was the vibe.
Sounds like Balkan to me.
Sounds
Yes,
like
it was
home.
very Balkan.
Sounds like home. Yes. Sounds like home.
Halkidiki.
Smells like home. It was that vibe, I can tell you. Like,
Yeah.
Natalia, you have to do this? Oh, when you can. Pomalo, no rush.
Malo, take your time.
And I came from like, oh, I have to upload a post. I have to do this. I received an email. I have to do this for university, and I need to take the metro.
Mhm.
Metro? I was taking the bike to go to the old town.
That's the life. That's the life.
So that's how, yeah, like the social media thing came later again, but those months there were like un remanso de paz, we say in Spanish. It was like, yeah, like a gap, like very needed gap to relax, let's say.
So that was the end of your, you say, your international, let's say, part of your life, at least the big international part for now. For now, and
I have one more before the polyglot.
okay.
If we have time.
Sure, we have time, yeah.
What do you say?
Okay,
Editor decides.
no, very quickly because I
Yeah,
think it's cool
depends on how long you want to.
you might have to cut here a lot. Okay, no, very quickly because it's true that I didn't live abroad, but it doesn't mean that you need to be outside of your country to be in this kind of certain international atmosphere. And when I came back to Madrid, I had very certain that I wanted to work in a hostel, but with more responsibility, of course, and not as volunteer. So immediately I got the job when I came back, and I work in a hostel in Madrid, right in the old town. Yeah. And I got to speak to people every day from different countries, and I was getting paid for it. That was the best. Also, it was a very cool experience for like 2 years or something like that. And imagine like I was like guest relations, so I was the perfect person for the role. Like talking to like I was like the tour girl. Like I had to sell people a flamenco tour or a Bernabeu Stadium tour or a flamenco Toledo trip to one of the cities near Madrid. And that kind of thing. And I could get to do it in Italian if I wanted, or in German, or in English, or in it was every day speaking to a family from Brazil, 2 girls from China. It was so much fun too. Nice. Little polyglot gathering again, or conference.
Sounds like a dream.
It was so much fun. And I learned a lot there too. Like I can make a check-in in many languages. Primo piano.
So it seems like that you're really passionate about languages, about human relationship, and like social media. It seems like any other things except like these 2 things, like any hobbies? Do you do any sports? Like what do you do in your free time?
You mentioned in uni that you got into some you chose journalism to do other things on the side.
Yeah.
And I remember you also mentioned theater. And afterwards, I have a question regarding that, but go ahead, please.
Well, I don't do theater anymore. Like now, like hobbies apart from languages, of course, I would say like sports, and like I'm a huge fan of like healthy life in general, like in all aspects, like taking being very conscious of what I eat. I'm very into personal development, like podcasts, books, that kind of stuff. And I would say also music. I love international music. You guys might know about it. So like things like, I don't know, Eurovision, or like just listening to music in different languages. It's something that I really like. And traveling, of course. Yeah, I almost forgot that one. I like to travel and to do like kind of slow travel, like get to know the people, like being a traveler, not a tourist.
Yeah, nice.
That's the best type of traveler. And I'm curious when you mentioned theater, because I was having this discussion with some people as well. Do you feel that when I don't know how deep you got into the process of getting into a role. I don't know how long you did theater, but do you feel that there is some connection between that and having a persona in a different language?
Wow, that's a very philosophical question that I didn't see coming.
We're Greeks, so
okay. Philosophia.
Of course.
Okay. Well, I don't think so. I think at the moment you are playing a role, it's true that there might be it might get a bit blurry sometimes, that you might end up behaving like the character and things like this, or like you take things from your personality and put them in the character, and in the other way around somehow. It depends on the character, maybe how long you're playing it and so on. But I think when I know this is like a typical question, like, are you like a different person or do you have a
Yeah.
different personality? It's not my case. So maybe
Hmm.
I cannot relate to that, to seeing like a comparison, because I'm always Natalia. I try to be funny in any language.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like to make jokes. I'm very outgoing person. So I think I try to get that out of me regardless of the language and the level I am with. It might be harder,
Hmm.
but also, yeah, I don't think it changes much for
Interesting.
me.
Nice.
Interesting. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you think QT here you're changing based on the language that you're speaking? I
I
always
think I
wanted to
kind
ask you
of do,
that.
but it's a thought I've been having recently in the last like month maybe. But we'll get into it some other time because it's a long topic.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yes. We
but
should discuss that next time we're all together.
exactly, yes, maybe in the gathering.
Right.
Um, but and another question. So we said in the beginning that you are a mom, and how does a polyglot mom approach language learning and like your child? Like, do you do anything different because of that?
Yeah, I think it's hard in a monolingual environment, but knowing what I know, I try to do my best. And actually, well, my daughter is now 4. But when she was a baby, I would speak to her in English, in like walking in the street, like just walking with the
Uh-huh.
baby, and I was speaking in English to her, like, I'm gonna make you bilingual.
Yeah.
And, but at some point, because that was easy, like she's a blank page. I
Yeah.
can speak in any language to her. She's going to get it. Like
That's
she's gonna
true.
believe that's the language, like
Yeah.
how this works. But at some point, I drop it, like it's hard, but I try to maintain it. Like when we play, it makes me easier because it's also like a role, kind of
Yeah.
playing a role for me. So it makes it's easier for me to step into English, and we do the game in English, and she follows up in we
Mhm.
do it in English. Also, like music, of course, she gets not surprised if I play a song in Russian in the car. She gets no surprise, like
Again,
it's
Russian
or in
again.
Italian, yeah. Things like, actually she has a song in Russian that she likes,
Oh,
and in German
uh-huh.
she it's, yeah, things like this. And also like reading is very easy. Like actually, I have hidden the books in Spanish at home.
Oh.
I do that kind of stuff. I have my tricks.
Other
They
parents
are
had
hidden.
cookies and you had books in Spanish.
Imagine, like, well, the grandma comes, okay, I take them out, but
Yeah.
otherwise, oops, I'm sorry, I don't know where they are. I have to
Oops.
read something in English. I also have some books in Italian that she loves. Like actually, it's easy for kids. It's very simple. There are a lot of drawings, so it's easy.
Mhm.
And I think that's mostly what I do.
Is
And
she already saying words in many
In
languages
other
or?
yeah,
languages, yeah.
well, mostly in English. And the thing that has helped the most, because of course, the more Spanish she knows, you can see a huge
Yeah.
difference, right, in between English and Spanish. Like now she has like a lot of vocabulary. I don't know why she speaks so much for being 4. I wonder why. she, she
Hmm,
she's
Is
a
he
talkative girl
no
for
idea.
only being
No
4.
idea.
is he her daughter?
Well,
Any
but
relative?
Your relative?
do you
Yeah.
see any connection, guys? No
Not
connection.
Nah,
really. Not
nah,
Well,
really. I'm
nah.
lost.
but the thing is that, like, last more than a year ago, it kicked me like, Natalia, you have to do something else, like to have more English. And like language schools are very, very expensive, and they have like
Mm.
1 hour a week, things like this. And she was too little, like she was 2. So I heard about this program called Au Pair, and we
Mm.
had a spare room at home. So I was like, fair enough. I ended up making interviews with girls across the EU and other countries. And last year, well, it worked pretty well. Last year, we hosted 3 girls, from Switzerland, from Canada, from Finland, and
Always
at this
different
moment there's
language.
like I don't repeat.
No,
I try to change to make
exactly.
it fun. And now there's a German, well, not now, at this very moment. And now there's a German girl with us too. And my house is Eurovision. What can I tell? It's
Can you ask
it
the
it.
German girl what is Springer if like this word exists?
I will totally ask her later. So yeah, you can now imagine why my daughter doesn't get surprised when she listens to us in a different language or
Nice,
having
nice.
international atmosphere at home. But it's actually she plays in English and it's our we have dinner in English, things like this. So that makes her get the language in a very natural, playful way, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she gets to make sentences in English, like repetition, because of playing to the same game. And then she wants to ask for something, and she would have listened in English, and then she repeats in English.
I guess we're gonna have some parents in our listeners, some listeners. Take notes. That's the way.
Write it down.
Cool.
Write it down.
I think we could speak like for many hours, and I think we will do it also next time we see each other, which I think will be next the Polyglot Gathering. One thing that we do always in as a tradition in our interviews is like ask questions, a few questions. The first one is you have to just like reply as fast as you can. I mean,
Okay.
take your time, but it's like just one word answer. So I would like to ask you favorite country for food, people, and languages.
One country per category.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, food, people, and languages.
Okay. Food. Greece.
Thank you.
Stop
Thank
it,
you.
you.
Yeah, so-
Guys.
Ha, ha.
People. Wow, that's tough.
Also Greece.
I could say Greece.
No, please go ahead. Be objective.
Yeah, be objective.
I'm gonna say Greece. Really, really.
Wow.
It's the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're honored. We're honored.
We all know. Yeah.
And for language,
I'm gonna say Italy.
Okay. At least not Greek. Again.
well, it's still in the region, you know.
People will think that we paid you or something.
Well,
Nice.
the Greek government is sponsoring this podcast. I have heard.
Yes.
And then 3 things that you always pack when you're traveling.
A notebook. My makeup. What else? I don't know. A small bag.
Blender.
A blender. Okay, cool. And thank you actually for being here. It was really nice to have you. Would like to hear any closing thoughts, where people can find you, or if you want people to find you, maybe you don't want, or follow your
Cognito.
yes, follow your your profile, and any final words, like any advice for our listeners.
First of all, Evkaristo para Poly. It's been a pleasure and so much fun talking to you guys. Hope you don't have to make so many edits. I'm sorry I talked too much.
No worries.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Okay.
I'm sure Damien will
And-
enjoy re-listening to edit as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I have an I'm still laughing. You can find me on Instagram. It's called Natalia Morales .ru, like ru. Some people think I'm Russian, like Natalia,
the same.
blonde, ru. But it's actually because in Spain we have like second last name. So, well, maybe you can attach it in the show notes and keep listening to Breakfast Together. It's a great podcast channel that I love. And thank you guys for making this podcast. What can I say?
Thank you. We appreciate spending time here with us and for like all your nice stories. And thanks to our listeners, and have a great Sunday morning.
Have a great Sunday. Great interview, Natalia. And thank you for listening.
Thank you guys. Bye bye. Adios.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.